Hey everyone, so this is the Pickle Dissection Lab. If you're absent, you'll watch this as you complete the lab. So on your document, you'll need to fill in the terms. You can just like write one word. So let's review over these. Dorsal means the back. Ventral means like the belly side or underside. Anterior cranial is head. Posterior caudal is the rear. Medial is like the middle or that midline. Lateral is like away from the midline or the side. Proximal, like these are talking about limbs. So it's closer to the body. Distal's further from the body. And here's two new terms which we will be using when we dissect. Easy. External is the outside anatomy. And then internal is the internal anatomy. And so then when we do a lab, you always follow the procedures. Don't just start cutting into it. You have to follow the procedures. So it says the ventral side of the pickle is the inner curved side, and the dorsal is the outer curved side. So you can kind of look at the picture, see how this is like curved inward? That's actually the belly. So think about yourself. Most of your organs are like on your belly side, your ventral side. So that's the side that we're gonna have up. So when you look at the pickle, see how the pickle has like a curved outward? That is the back or the dorsal. And see how that's curved inward? That's gonna be the belly or ventral. And then it says the anterior cranial end of the pickle is a darker end with a stem. Like this, the stem's fallen off, but you can see where it's at. So this is the anterior end. And then the posterior caudal end is the lighter end of the pickle. So this is the head, this is the belly. And when we do it, we're gonna end up having the back side down with the belly up when we dissect most animals, most, not all. So then it says label the diagram of the pickle below with the following anatomical directions. Anterior cranial, that's gonna be towards the head. Posterior caudal, towards the rear. Dorsal is actually down here because the dorsal side's down. Ventral is here, is the belly. It's gonna be hard to do medial, it's weird. Medial is that midline. And you have midline going down the back and the belly, like all the way around. So you could it's just either gonna go where dorsal or ventral is gonna be. It's just that midline right here. So you could draw like a line and then like draw an arrow to it, meaning it's the midline. And then lateral, this is a side, like how it's pictured. That's the side of the pickle, so that's lateral. This is medial, and this is lateral. Okay, so examine the external anatomy of the pickle. Record your observations in the space below. Be detailed in your observations and write in complete sentences. So don't use like vague words like it. Like, what do you mean with it? Like, write the pickle. So I'm going to show the pickle, make some observations. So you can talk about the color change, how it curves, how it does it have a hard outer layer or is it more soft? There's no limbs on the pickle. It's kind of like worm-like. So you can put some pickles have like little bumpy little textures. So go ahead and write down your observations. Okay, now let's move on to the anatomical planes. So there's 3 planes: sagittal, transverse, and frontal. So you'll have to know first that this is bilateral symmetry, even though it doesn't have any limbs, treat it like a worm. It's not asymmetrical like a sponge, and it's not radial symmetry like a starfish or a jellyfish, so it's bilateral. So you can cut it into the left and the right. So that plane that goes down that midline, that cuts it into a left and a right, that is the sagittal plane. So the dotted box is showing that it's being cut like this. So that is the sagittal plane, the dotted box. Okay, an easy way to think about transverse is a T. So you're cutting it, so this is the body length, and then this is the cross of the T. So it's cutting it in anterior and posterior. That is the transverse plane. The frontal plane is the one that goes here, that cuts it into a dorsal. This is dorsal, remember, because it's the curved outward side. So the back is down right now. So it cuts it into dorsal and ventral. So the one that goes right here, where we have the dorsal down here and ventral up, that is the frontal plane. Okay, so pin the anterior and posterior ends of the pickle to the tray with the ventral side up. That's why it was important talking about that, because most of the organs are found in the belly region, except for a few, like the arthropods. They're weird. So we're gonna make a pin. These are kind of hard because the pickles were kind of large. It says use a scalpel and scissors to cut the ventral body cavity by making an eye-shaped incision. See the figure to the right so that shows how it's cut like an eye. We'll do that a lot with most of the things we dissect. This area can be open like hinged doors to expose the internal organs. Do not cut the pickle in half or cut too deep. So you always want to start off shallow and then go a little bit deeper if you need to. So when we use tools, we don't put dirty ones back into the tray. Let's leave them in here once you use them. So we're gonna make an eye-shaped incision. So start here and along the midline first. If you have a knife that's not cutting very well, let me know, and I will get you a new one because it's kind of difficult to cut with a dull. Yeah, so you don't want to cut towards yourself. I was about to do it wrong. When you do an eye-shaped incision, you also have to make sure you cut far enough, like down on the sides. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to get it open all the way. Okay, where's the end of my cut? I know I cut towards myself, but it's easier. Okay, so I'm going to see if it'll let me open it without going any deeper. Okay, I think I need to go a little bit deeper in that mid. Just need to go a little bit deeper right here. And so when you open it up, you'll want to use pins to hold down the outer skin, abdominal cavity. So when you pin, it's also better to actually put it in at an angle. It stays in better. Plus, it's not straight up, so you can actually get in and observe the organs. Okay, so now I have it open. Okay, using the dissecting pins to pin back and hold the pickle open. Okay, I already did that. Use a probe to carefully remove the seeds, some seeds from the pickle without removing the flesh. So there's two types of probes. This is a needle probe, and this is the blunt probe. When you use a blunt probe for moving things to the side. So I'm gonna try to do a few. If not, it's not a huge deal on this part. Some of them didn't have really well-defined seeds. I guess it was based on how old the pickle was. Oh, there's one. You can always use the forceps too. And I'm just kind of removing flesh right now. Oh. Yeah, I'm not gonna be super picky. I'm trying to get out some of the seeds. Like these ones, look how they're really tiny in this pickle. So maybe this pickle's not well developed or something like that. So I'm not gonna worry about that as much. So you mainly use a blunt probe. So once we have organs in here, you can use this for moving tissue, lifting up an organ to see underneath that organ. This one's for if you have little connective tissue or membranes that you need to break or tear. You can use this one for doing that. Already did that. So number 5, examine the internal anatomy of the pickle. Record your observations in the space below. Be detailed on your observations and write complete sentences. So look at here, make some observations. So this would be kind of like the abdominal cavity where all the organs would be in the pickle. So it's kind of like a lighter green with rows of seeds. It's kind of fleshy, very moist on the inside, lots of juices. Very, meaty, fleshy on the inside, rows of seeds. like, it almost looks like it has like a little vein going like down the middle, kind of like a nerve would go. So that's the pickle. So now you're going to, on your own, answer the post-lab questions on your own. So the only thing I'm going to go over is phylum Annelida are earthworms, and the phylum Arthropoda, they are like insects. So does this resemble a earthworm or a insect more? Also, number 3. I'm not going to give you the answer, but I'm going to go over it. So think about the anterior end. What's in your head region? Like if it was a normal animal, like what type of stuff do you find in the head region? Like you see stuff or sensory structures, brain. So that's kind of the answer. So go ahead and again, finish up the post-lab questions on your own. And this is a pickle dissection. I mean, I wish you were here to actually do it in person, but when you complete the lab, make sure you scan it with your OneDrive and submit it to Canvas. If you have any questions, let me know.